growing number of House members, GOP, say that President Obama has overstepped his constitutional authority, and they're prepared to sue the administration to put a stop to it. A resolution to authorize legal action against the executive branch is gaining steam in the House. Joining us now to discuss the efforts is the resolution's author, Republican Congressman Tom Rice of South Carolina. Congressman, welcome. Thank you for joining us today. I know this is something you've been working on for a while. Why do you think it's necessary to take this bold of a step?
Well, Shannon, thank you for having me on your show, and welcome to sunny Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, America's beach playground. This started last summer. I've had hundreds of constituents come to me and say the president's breaking the law. Why do you continue to allow him to do that? Why does the Congress allow him to do that? And when the president decided to unilaterally extend the employer mandate for a year, the next day in the paper, Senator Tom Harkin, who's one of the architects of the Affordable Care Act, came out and said this was the law. How can the president do this? So that really spurred me into action, and we were looking at things that we could do short of impeachment, which requires a vote of the Senate, to force the president to comply with his obligations under Article 2, Section 3 of the Constitution. So this is what we came up with.
Well, and I know that the resolution...
House Resolution 442...
Yeah, and I know that it spells out specific instances that you all point to these modifications of the law. And I know that there have been some issues regarding when members of Congress try to sue the executive branch about issues of standing. And a lot of folks think what you've put together here may give you a better shot at doing that. But you point out modifications that the president's made unilaterally to the health care law. And in many of those instances, when he's made a change, I know that Congress has said, great, we'll codify it, we'll put it into legislation. And then the White House has in turn said, if you do, we'll veto it. So there's clearly friction between the branches. The president said just days ago, this is the year of action. He's got a pen. He's going to use it to sign executive orders. If you don't succeed in this particular effort to stop him with regard to the health care law, it sounds like he has other plans in place. You know, how far are you willing to push this? And don't you need to get some Democrats to sign on to be successful?
Well, if it passes a majority of the House, it will start the lawsuit. And I have begun to approach my friends across the aisle about, saying this is not a Tea Party thing. This is not a Republican or Democrat thing. We're trying to protect the framework of our government. Clearly the president is overstepping his bounds. In the prior cases that you discussed, there were congressmen who were unhappy that they'd lost a vote and the way the law went, and they were challenging that law. That's not what we're doing here. The president has no authority to do many of the things he's doing. For example, extending the employer mandate, waiving the work requirements under the welfare law, enacting by executive order the DREAM Act, which was not enacted by Congress. Our forefathers, they fought a rebellion to get out from under a monarchy. They wanted freedom, and they designed our Constitution to be a government of, by, and for the people. The people are the ones who have the power in our government, and it's based on a separation of powers. The Congress enacts the law, the president enforces the law. And when you have the president of the United States coming out, 2 days ago and saying, look, I'm not going to wait for Congress to act on my agenda. I have a pen and I have a telephone, saying he's going to enact the law. Well, let me tell you, he may have a pen and a telephone, but we have the Constitution. All right? Our freedom is under attack here. We cannot stand by and watch the president trample on the Constitution. This is a concrete action. I don't think there's anything more important happening in the House right now. We've got 66 co-sponsors, and I want all your viewers to call their congressman and tell them they need to get on this act. Our president is clearly saying that he is not going to be bound by the Constitution.
All right.
One man who can enact the law and enforce the law, he's a king, he's not a president.
Well, Congressman, we followed this as you've gotten more and more of those co-sponsors. Keep us updated. Let us know. I know there are folks all over the place on this issue. You're clearly passionate about it, so we thank you for coming to explain it to us today. Thanks, Congressman.
Shannon, thank you. If your viewers want to know how they can help, tell them to go to www.rice.house.gov, and there are ways that they can be citizen co-sponsors and contact their congressman about this very important resolution.
All right.
Thank you very much.
You have done it right there. Thank you, sir.